Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44. Coming at you with another video. All right, so, yeah, everything's going smooth until I got on the train. And something told me something strange could potentially happen when I get on that train. I was walking a whole lot before I got on it, too. Got off at Hollywood and Highland, went all the way up to where I used to live, did the hill walk, came back down, walked all the way to Sunset and, the Target over there. It's a lot of walking today. Good steps in, and walked back to the train station and hopped on. And on the way back to the train station, it crossed my mind, like, it's been a pretty smooth day. I wonder if something strange will happen on the train. It crossed my mind, and it usually does not. Sure enough, as soon as we were moving on from, got on at Sunset and Western. Sunset and Western after we went to Hollywood and Highland, I believe it was. No, it was Hollywood and the one after that, Hollywood and Vine Station. There was a guy on the tram that I was on. As soon as it took off to head toward Universal City, he jumped up, ran over to the door, pulled the emergency button. The train stops in the middle of nowhere. He jumps off the train. In doing so, he startled one of the ladies who was sitting in front of me. I was in the seat behind the door seat. So I got a good view. He was on the adjacent left side facing my direction. So I saw him when he got up. I saw him when he came over. I had him tracked the whole time. He got off the train, and as a lady that was sitting in one of the seats ahead of me saw him coming at her, as soon as she saw him pull the lever, she got up and kind of moved to the back of the train. And I guess that startled him. And so he said something to her like, "I don't mess around, get the hell away from me," or something like that. Ran off the train, picked something up, some type of little bottle or something, threw it on the train across me, toward the guy adjacent behind me on the left side as I'm sitting on the right side. It goes across me. And I'm just sitting here like, is he going to try to get back on the train? Is he going to try to fight one of these ladies? Because if that happens, then I'll get in the way. But if he doesn't do that, I'm not, like I always say, I'm not going to make myself part of the problem. He wants to get off the damn train at a random spot, can almost get him killed or what have you. He's obviously not well. I'm not going to fight him on it. The train stopped. He got off of it. First, he tried to open the door while the train was moving. And I'm just sitting there watching this fool like, he really gonna commit suicide, like, for real? Those are my exact thoughts. And I was like, now, if he pulls this door handle and it opens up without the train stopping, is he gonna be okay? Because it looks like he's getting off this train one way or another. He was gonna get off the train. Question was, how? Was it gonna be with the thing stopped or not? Sure enough, it was with it stopped. And so that was one of those situations where there was no security anywhere. And the door stayed open because the bulb had been pulled. So my thinking was, after he threw that on the train, I waited a few seconds to see if somebody's, security was going to come running, or if they were going to, what they wanted to do. And when I realized it was nothing going on, I'm like, I'm not letting him back on this train. So I ran up to the bulb, slapped it up, the door closed, and that was it. He didn't try to get back on the train. I think he disappeared, probably ran back to the station. We had only been riding for maybe a half a second, so it wasn't like he had gotten too far away from where he wanted to be. But yeah, that's exactly how that went. Absolute madness that dude was on. So, yeah, man. One of the people that got the dude that got hit by the bottle came up to me and gave me a fist bump when we got to Universal City. He told me good work. I'm like, I didn't really do nothing. All I did was close the door. I closed the door in a speedy enough time so we didn't have to wait. You know what I mean? Like, for them to have to go through the whole process of protocol. That was my thinking. Like, if I let this door stay open, they're going to call security. We're going to be sitting here for 25 minutes. I don't want that. I'm ready to go. Everybody on here is ready to go. He got off the train. Let's pop the bulb back up and get back moving. So that's what I was guessing he was giving me some props for, but I didn't really do nothing but hit the bulb. If I didn't do it, somebody else was going to. But my thing was, is he gonna try to hop back on this train and and proceed with more of that energy he was on. Because if that's the case, this isn't going to work out for him. That was my exact thought. Like, this ain't going to work out for him. So I know he's not well. He looked like he's probably in his mid-40s. Indian man, probably. Something like that, Middle Eastern. But American accent when he spoke. And, you know, my thinking was he's obviously not mentally well. He's obviously drugged up, or whatever the case may be. I don't want to, like, insert myself into the situation and make it a problem on my end. I just want to make sure that everybody's safe and make sure that he ain't getting back on this train after he finished throwing whatever he was throwing on there. I didn't really want him back on the train. Now, I also was thinking, if I shut this door, is it not my fault if something happened to this man because I didn't close the door behind him? Now he's stuck in between tracks or whatever. If they start this train and he in front of it or something, now all of a sudden it's my fault because I ain't let him back on, or I didn't try to let him back on. So that was my thinking, but I'm like, you know what? He poses a threat to these ladies in front of me. I can live with that. They were scared of dude, so that was how I was able to be at peace with that aspect of it. And they were afraid of it. Or at least that one lady was. And so my thinking was, nah, I'm going to go ahead and hit the bulb, close the door. And if he wants to go on and do whatever he wants to do, he could do it outside of the train, because it wasn't going to happen on the train with that energy that he had. Not to mention that he was absolutely out of his mind, which was clear at that point. And none of them ladies posed any threat to him. They were elderly. Elderly ladies looked like nurses, man. They weren't any threat to him. That lady was getting out of his way because she saw he was a madman trying to open the door while it was moving. That's why she got up. She was startled. She didn't know what his actions was. My thinking was, whatever his actions is, he bring it my way, it's going to be a huge problem for him if he don't have a projectile weapon. That was my exact thought. He had better have a bomb or a gun or something, because with that energy, he better not bring that my way. The way I was feeling when I was sitting down. It's strange, because when I sat down, I felt the guy that ended up giving me props. His energy wasn't that right. I don't know who he was or what he was about, but that dude wasn't all that. I didn't get great vibes from him when I first sat down. And so I was already a little defensive off the strength of his energy that wasn't great. And so I sat down and I was already in like a little bit of, all right, man, leave me the hell alone type of mood. And when this dude did that, I'm like, okay, all right. And it's the funny thing is that was the train's final car in the back. Like, you know, when you try to go all the way to the end of the train station to catch the final car, that's what that was. This is the car you get into to stay away from all the madness, to make sure you get a seat, because all the other cars are usually filled up. So I call myself avoiding madness, or ironically enough. I don't know, something's going on up here ahead of me too. You got the cop helicopter up ahead, and of course y'all heard them sirens. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get back to the hotel, bro. I ain't really sure about today, to be honest with you. I ain't really sure about today. I'm happy. I'm in good spirits, but it's got a certain vibe to it. It's like, the sooner we get to the house, the better type of vibe. That's what this one is. Some days the air is just a little thicker than usual. Today is one of those days. I don't know if it's gonna be a full moon tonight or what, but yeah, man, it's just a little strange out there. And so my actions is to just mind my business, get back to the hotel, and do the thing that I do, man. Work out or get to some art, or, you know, I've done as much exercise as I actually feel like I want to do, but depending on how much time is left when I get to the back there will determine what it is that I ultimately do, and more exercise and all of that. But I feel pretty good, man, as it pertains to the body. Yesterday was tired, not today. I feel the energy that I hope to feel. And in this presence of that, you know, just trying to do my thing, man. Anyway, so yeah, the demon behind me is just furthermore more energy that I'm talking about. Is in me hurry him getting home, because the devil's working hard. But you know, it is what it is, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm minding my business. And you can see it. You see it. That's kind of what it is. It's been like that since I left the house. That's kind of been the vibes. So yeah, man, just trying to get to the crib before the werewolves come out or whatever the hell's going on with this place. But you know, at the end of the day, I just want to say, you know, the devil's always going to try to poke at you when you're doing things the right way. I keep telling people that I feel like the Lord's been proud of me, and ever since that's been the case, it seems like one thing after another has been trying to try to poke at my patience, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is. But just the same, you got to understand that its only purpose is to try to get you off your game, try to make you lose your intensity and doing things the right way. You're doing things the right way, which means God can work with you, which means the enemy is angry with you. That's how that always goes, man. So, you know, what we want to do is control what we can control, which is our energy. Everybody else's energy in moments like that, not your business. Your meditation should help you manage moments such as the ones I'm experiencing this last couple of days, where it seemed like one thing after another is trying to shake me a little bit, but it's not. To be honest with you, it's really not. And you know, prayers out to everybody, man. Mental illness is real. I think that's what it is. I've been trying to show everybody through my own struggles with that. Everybody has something they got to deal with, but some people got it too bad. You know what I mean? As it pertains to, they can't function. You know, they're moved by you know, chaos or what have you in their head, and they really need patience from people. You know, some of us have anxiety and different stuff, like depression or whatever, but some people are just, they're not okay. And because they're not okay, they can tend to make others feel uncomfortable in the presence of them. But just as it is, I saw something at the train station that's written on the side of the wall that says it's not illegal to be mentally ill. And so we got to remind ourselves that when we're struggling with people like that. People want to do all types of weird stuff in our presence. If they're not well, they're not well. If they were well, they do better. You know, I think that's what it comes down to. So, yeah, man, I don't know, but that's why I make this channel. That's exactly why I do therapy sessions of my own. Let people know what it is I go through, what my circumstances are, how I struggle with whatever I struggle with, in hopes that people will be all right and, you know, be forthcoming and trying to get some help in whatever way they can, whether they can afford it or not. And that's what I'm here to do, is to be that example. You know, they're arresting somebody over here at the train station. I mean, at the park behind me right now. Cops everywhere. So something happened over here. I don't know if this is the crux of where all the craziness was, but it looks like it may have been. Whatever the case may be, man. They're arresting a homeless guy back there. I don't know if he's well or not, but it seemed all cute for what we're talking about. But, you know, our spirit starts first. No matter what frame of mind you are in, God can work with you and through you, improve your energy, and the enemy can do the opposite if you let him. No matter how sane you are, how smart you are, how dumb you may be, how crazy or whatever the word would be. The Lord wants to make your energy better. The enemy wants to make your energy worse. Your relationship with God is yours alone. No matter what mindset you're in, you can train yourself to appreciate something greater than yourself, and then from there do the best you can to connect with it to improve your energy. And we need to make that, as much as culture is Super Bowl and beer and all the different things that we make culture in our lives that don't do much for us spiritually, mentally, or really emotionally. A lot of stuff that we think is culture, it don't do nothing for us. I swear most of the stuff was created by people who hated people. You know what I mean? Like literally. Some of the stuff that we think is just so normal. You look at the food commercials that are in your, when you're watching everything that you watch. Look at the food, man. Grease, beef, cheese, very little vegetables, very little things that are going to make you healthy. Very little things that are going to keep you alive. Things that are going to give you a heart attack. Things that are supremely seasoned and oversaturated in grease and salt. Now, if I'm trying to keep people alive and make them healthy, why in the hell am I investing so much in that? That's what I want to ask y'all. Why in the world would I invest so much in something that's going to make them unhealthy and make that the focal point of what it is that ultimately they want? And then you say, well, you're just giving the people what they want. Well, who suggested to them that this is what they should want? Well, you, right? Advertiser? Well, it's just American culture. Well, why? Why is kill myself slowly in a tasty way culture? Beer commercials, constant. And my thinking is, beer is something that people like because other people like it in a lot of cases. I've never met anybody that actually liked beer to taste, unless it's being cooked into some type of batter or something. Other than that, beer don't taste good to nobody. You just drink it because people tell you that they drink it. And as you continue to drink that nasty stuff, you start finding different ones that people say, oh, that's not as nasty. Well, I have a taste for this nastiness, but it's actual nastiness. What's reality? You give a baby a taste of beer, they ain't gonna like it. It's nasty. But as culture would provide it, suddenly, since we've been doing it for 500 years, I guess we gotta keep drinking it. Nah, man, that's just stupidity. That's not real culture. That's fake culture. That's self-destructive culture. That's not actually meant for your betterment. That's meant for your worsening. And because there's so many different things compounded on each other that's been meant to make you worse, we just don't even look at it as making us worse. But it is. How many people we seen die of drunk drivers are killing people and stuff like that, and we just keep drinking? Well, it's culture. I need it. Well, for what? I can't have fun without it. Have you tried? Life is so boring without it. That's because you have so much that you need that ultimately hurts you by way of what has been suggested to your ancestors and down to you. That stuff ain't nothing to want. If you were raised in a world where it was cool to give you things that were good for you, you would want to arrest somebody who tried to promote that stuff to you. You wouldn't want it. It's that these things have been going on so long in this place. Generations of backwards thinking and backwards promotion that would ultimately make us want things that kill us and harm us and make us worse and all that. We're just going to keep wanting it. Because you don't know a world where it's not cool to want things that harm you, but that stuff ain't never been any good. So who, if not someone that didn't like us, made that something that we should otherwise think is cool? And see, that's what comes to mind for me. It's like, well, who the hell's investing in this stuff? And what do they think of me as I'm sitting here paying into it thinking it's cool? They've given me everything that makes me worse, everything that makes my mind worse, so that puts me in a position to not have my mind about me, and then I'm supposed to think that they're my friends. They're giving me nothing but stuff that makes me sick. Nothing but stuff that kills me early. Nothing but stuff that slows me down. Why do I think of them as my friend? Why do I think of them as somebody I should be making richer with my investment dollars? Simply, if not for the culture of other people who agree, this is what we do. Why? I don't know. It's just our culture. Who put that in place? Well, I'll tell you who put that in place. People who didn't like you, who wanted to control you. Who wanted you to pour your money into what they wanted you to pour your money into, and furthermore, not think about the things that they're doing, holding them accountable, making yourself educated so you can make yourself someone who provides culture to people that ultimately makes them better. If they rock us all to sleep into wanting things that are no good for us, we'll never want to be better. Not enough of us to move the needle. We'll just keep on being worse and their dreams fulfilled. And that is what ultimately I've come to understand. This culture, people didn't want this stuff. This is what they've been suggested they should want. Then they want it. Chicken didn't come before the egg on that one. The egg came first. They suggested this is what you should want. This is what we do. And then a bunch of people looked around, didn't think for themselves, agreed with one another, didn't want to feel left out, said yeah, and kept going. And we just kept one self-destructive thing after another form what it is that we ultimately understand to be our Western culture. That ain't nothing good about none of this stuff. None of it. It all makes us worse inside and out. And a lot of the stuff that makes us healthy, we don't want. A lot of stuff that makes us better, we have no interest in. You think that's by accident? Hell no. That's the same suggestive people with the same intentions to maneuver you into a space for which you are worse, just worse for their own intentions. Generation at a time, worse for their own intentions. And most importantly, guilty, so they can hold that over your head. too busy to be helpful, to deteriorate what makes them wealthy, which is the dream of making you worse. You're too busy trying to do things you have no business doing to be a solution to anything for anybody other than, well, them, quite honest. That's why I'm over it, man. I feel like the veil has been lifted over my eyes from some of the cultures and stuff that I used to support when I was a kid. All of this stuff was meant to make me worse. It's about everything I grew up on, damn near, was meant to make me worse. Every once in a while they suggest something good here and there, but the majority of the things that suggest to me is supposed to kill my character, kill my body, get me out of shape, deteriorate my mind, make me involved in different cultures that are horrible stereotypes for myself and my people, and then influence them with the same stereotypes and cultures that make their character worse, make them more guilty, have them locked away, have them dead. And you look around, it's like, damn, like, is there anything suggested by the big companies that ultimately is good for our character and bodies? No, nothing at all. Are they teaching us how to manage our wealth? How to pour our money into things that ultimately make money for itself? Hell no, that's how they win. They don't want you winning that way. That's how they pass generational wealth to their children, so their children can be snobbish and spoiled. That ain't what they want you doing. No, they want you buying things that depreciate in value immediately. They want you buying things that ultimately get you thrown in jail with the big amount of money that you get. They want you buying things that ultimately you put around your neck. Nothing that's going to really help you and your children in the long run. No, they don't want you surviving and thriving. No, God knows. Because if you're winning, that means they're losing, or at least that's how they equate it. It's not good for you. And so that's what I'm telling y'all, man. We got to get smarter. We got to get smarter. And most importantly, we got to at least fathom the idea that a lot of what it is that we are enjoying and being influenced by is terrible for us, on purpose, generationally. So we would be taught this stuff before we understood how not to follow things that were no good for us. We already had suggested to our brains what culture was and how to follow it. What was cool and what was not, which ironically a lot of times was meant to deteriorate us and make us rot. When we look at anybody that tries to suggest otherwise and just say they're just bumbling fools, they're a little strange, they're a little weird, they out here, they're on the spectrum or whatever. No. You were rocked to sleep, collectively. You've been told up is down and down is up, and everybody around you agrees. Except for the people who are strange to you, which is exactly by design. And because you got to fit in, or because you want to fit in, or because you don't want to look weird, or you don't want people to think you're weird, you do things that continue to relay forward this same self-destructive culture to the next generation. And they keep on using that guilt trip, that social guilt trip that we're going to hold amongst each other, regardless of what the damn culture is, to stay within that culture so that we're not outcasted against us. And they keep pressing the envelope, pressing against what makes sense to us, to see how far into that trance we often are in various points in times as they figure it out. Let's see how far we can push these folks. Let's see how ridiculous we can suggest something that is ultimately going to deteriorate them. Let's see if we can get them to snitch on one another on podcasts as they're facing federal time. Let's see if we can get them to wear big red boots that cost about $250 that engulf their entire leg when they put them on their feet. You understand what I'm saying to you? Let's see if we can put the most ridiculous, ignorant black women on TV as possible to further deteriorate them and play in their faces about their own image, and see if they buy it and eat it up. Let's see. Let's push the envelope. How ridiculous can she be? How radically crass and lacking in self-respect can we promote this individual to be? Keep pushing the envelope. More ridiculous. No, more. Yes. Make her look ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Try to find her to be the opposite of everything that we've ever promoted to be beautiful and classy and all that. Find the opposite. Put her out there, pour a lot of money behind her. Let's see if they eat it up. These are the type of social experiments they're doing to us right now. Ratchet. No, more ratchet. More ratchet. More disrespectful to herself. More. Less clothing. More drugs. Less class. Let's see if she can suggest the worst things about herself and others. More. Disgusting. Nasty. More. They keep on pushing the envelope on this type of crap. Because they know it works. They want to see how much it works. How far into the extreme can they go? Before people start to say, you know what, no. And so far as they want to go. They got to keep pushing this to reach our threshold because keep going. That's what they can do at this point based on how all of us are acting. Keep going. They're apparently not disgusting enough. Apparently not crass enough. Apparently not. None of those things that ultimately we shouldn't want for ourselves. Not enough. Harder on the ridiculousness. And so expect more of them pressing the envelope, going further and further into the red as it pertains to anything that we would otherwise want for ourselves, as they continue to promote it as culture, promote it as this is what the people want. And remember, you don't know who they are. That's the bottom line. 9 out of 10 people who are heavily influenced by this crap aren't even aware of how this operates. They don't even ask the questions as it pertains to how the hell did this person get on my screen? And why do I suddenly love their music? Who the hell is this person? And why are we celebrating them? They got a hit. Okay? That's dope. They dated somebody. All right. Good for them. Like, we celebrate people for stuff that ain't got no sense attached to it. That's part of the social experiment, if you ask me. This person is famous for no reason at all. They're famous because fame. Literally, that's it. There's nothing attached to them. They're just famous. And people hover around fame. I mean, this is the problem with the Western world, and you wonder why people don't care about what's going on in overseas in circumstances where their money is paying for genocide. This is why, because you've been rocked to sleep by this type of just ridiculousness for generations. They've been pressing an envelope and feeding you poison for generations. Giving you stuff that ain't no good for you, making you want to kill yourself willingly and thinking ain't no other way. In fact, you need these things that ultimately kill you slowly, willingly, because how else can you survive if not for something that could kill you to make you feel better? I mean, when you really break it down, you could clearly see it's a social experiment meant to destroy and evaporate anyone's self-awareness, self-control, self-respect, ability to think for themselves. And I keep telling people, man, the one consistent thing about all of this is school. The very thing that you are guilt-tripped into believing that you need, and furthermore, that you can't function without. School. Because a lot of us, if not all of us, need to first be literate, know how to count, and know how to do the structure of things in the world. And then from there, within these environments, they structure God knows what suggestions into allowing you to be on the rhythm of what it is that ultimately allows them to continue to push this crap onto you and you receive it. What's the one constant amongst most consumers? School. It's the one constant. All these people have been to some level of school. They said in some classroom, some uniform way of doing something that ultimately is supposed to teach them how to be intelligent and furthermore shun those who didn't go. And like I said, a lot of people, if not everybody, needs some form of education. The question is, what the hell are they actually doing to our brains when we're in these places? Because if this is all that comes of us, if this is what we've been rocked into, that's the one constant that everybody ends up going to. That's the one constant. I don't trust it. I never did. Ever since I was a toddler, more or less, I didn't trust it. It bumped my spirit. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but I think I was on to something. And about 200 years from now, when they study all of us, I'm pretty sure they're going to find out that the thing that connects all these consumers that keep on getting warped into not thinking for themselves is school. The uniform space from which you go for 12 years every day for about 7 hours or more, plus homework that you have to take home to teach you how to move in the way they tell you to move. That's everybody. Everybody in this world around us is going to these American schools, and they walk away being indifferent to the suffering of others, and furthermore aligned with consumerism as we understand it to be. I have no doubt that something in the curriculum that they teach all of us is teaching us how to be like that. I have no doubt. There's too many people silent to genocide for me not to think that something that everybody went to taught them how to be that. Taught them how to be fine with Israel running everything and U.S. government, pledge allegiance to the flag and all this other bullshit. We learned that where? School. They taught us what they wanted us to know. Told us who the good guy was, who the bad guy was, early enough for us to not even know how to question it. Aligned us with the rhythm and the timing of things for which they now relate to us in consumerism and ad culture. This is the timing. This is the hours that we want you to go to this class. This is the hours that we do this. This is the hours we do that. That is a rhythmic repetition training program. Forget what you're teaching you there. That's your body moves on that clock. 7 o'clock, we are at school till 3 o'clock, and then the bell rings, and that's a rhythm trainer. It's a rhythm trainer. Rhythm. Pulses. Timing. It takes us off of God's timing and put us on their timing. I know there's something to that. I know it. There's something to that. I'm not saying don't learn. That's stupid. I would never tell people not to learn. I'm not saying don't teach. That's stupid. I would never tell people not to teach. But the way that this Western thing works, the only way we know how to say that people are smart enough to do anything is if they go through the 12-year program of rhythm training and curriculum. Yeah, that is understood and not questioned well enough. And the more people do it, the more they enthrall themselves in it, the smarter they expect it to be. So it's bulletproof. It is foolproof. You ain't never gonna question it. You're never gonna question it. Because people who don't have it are stupid. And the people who do have it are smart. So you're never gonna question it. You pity people who don't have as much of it as others. The more you have, the smarter you are. Smarter or uniformed properly, nestled comfortably to be who it is they ultimately want me to be so that I can do the things they want me to do, pay into their nonsense while they pretend like this isn't what it is. Dystopian nonsense. You got people who went to school for 25 years giving their country to Israel so they can kill children. And you think I'm not supposed to wonder what the hell trained their brain to be that way? Come on, fam. Where were they at? Where were their parents at? That would allow them to be on that same timing when they got home. But their parents went to school too, didn't they? Yep. Same training program? Absolutely. Same rhythm training program? Absolutely. Same pulse upon their bodies and spirits? Absolutely. Same understood, nothing ever changes because this is just the only way we know how to learn? Absolutely. Absolutely. Pity the person who don't have it because they can't teach you nothing. They ain't learned nothing, they stupid, they've been making poor decisions or whatever, structured agreement, deviations that ultimately we have going on here. telling you, I never bought into it. Maybe not for the right reasons, but I still think I was on to something. Because when I look at the fact that I didn't go to school, I never bought into it. I never let them people train my brain like that, not fully. And I look and see I'm one of the only people that's willing to stand up against some of this stuff that's going on out here that should outrage all of us. I realized that something was different about my upbringing versus literally 90% everybody else. And what do I see? School. That's why I wasn't that the rest of y'all was. It's the truth. You tell me if I'm on to something. I don't know. The training program that y'all brains was on, I must have missed all them classes. I missed all of that. And I didn't want to be on none of that timing. I didn't want to get up that hour. I didn't want to take none of that crap home. When I left that devilish place, I didn't want to do a single bit of homework because I understood that they were continuing to try to control my time away from the building, where the whistles and the bells wasn't still going on, where they wasn't telling me where to eat, how to sit, how to this, how to that, do this, do reading that time, Ottoman Empire and all types of bull crap that I ain't care nothing about. It ain't even relevant today. Ottoman freaking Empire. I still, honest to God, don't know why they were teaching me that shit. And I didn't know nothing about my own people. I didn't know nothing about slavery as it pertains to what it is that I needed to know. Only thing taught me anything real about slavery was Roots, ironically enough. Alex Haley's book and TV show in the 70s. That's what gave me the notion that these horrible things happen to my people. If not for his bit of art, I wouldn't know. They weren't teaching me that in school. We were celebrating the Pilgrims and the Indians and the Pilgrims sat together and all this. And they tell me they were slaughtering them people. Nina Pinta Santa Maria was supposed to be nice ships that came over and set the sails, and the Pilgrims and the buckles and the black shoes with the white socks and all this other stupid, goofy shit. It's an absolute lie. I'm telling y'all, man, they were training our brains to be okay with colonization. And then furthermore, as we fast forward 40 years, you see them doing this to people over in the Middle East, and we ain't supposed to say nothing but this is fine. This is fine. No, it's not fine, friends. Hey, friend. Hello, girl. How are you today? You good? Hey. Hey, little mama. All right. Good day, sweetheart. All right. Yep. Good day. There we go. All right. It's good to see you. All right. Yeah, man. So, as I tell you, man, I learned more from Compassion, from her, the dog, than I learned from any of these people who went to school 20 years, whatever the hell, uniform, timing, don't deviate from the rhythm and the pulse, and how we agree to do things. Nonsense. I'm telling you, a dog will teach you more about compassion than an educated person or a non-educated person, any type of person for that matter, including myself, ever could. Compassion, friends. Dog teach you more about that. Kid you not. I think we should, I don't know if homeschooling works. I don't know. I never did homeschool personally. School A. I'm sending my kid to the uniform timing thingy probably if I have kids. It's not like I feel like they're better off without the uniform timing something. I don't know. I got more to learn. I'm just telling you that I feel like I'm on to something. There's something off about all of it. That nobody questions it, that nobody considers it something weird about that. That it's just all considered like this is how we smart ourselves. This is how we smart. This is how we smart. All of us, we all smart this way. This is how we smart. Without it, pity. It's like, I ain't buying none of that, man. I just didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it. Forgive me. I just looked at that and I said, nah, I reject all of this. This is ridiculous. I saw it as ridiculous. Still do. So I never went back, really. That's exactly why. I went back and got my GED. I went back to Santa Monica College because my grandmother more or less forced me there. But I literally didn't care nothing about school, man. I really didn't. Now you'll hear me on this channel many times saying you need to go to school, education's important, and it is. some form of education to get the stuff in your head that you need, that you're going to use in life, teach you how to manage stuff. But like most of the stuff that you really need, they ain't teaching you. Like how to do your own taxes, how to build your credit, wealth management and intellect, financial literacy. They ain't teaching none of that. So like the stuff that you actually need, you got to get higher learning in those specific courses to even get that stuff. They're not teaching that stuff to kids. Stuff that allow us to build our credit. The notion that we should have credit and insurance and all that. I didn't know nothing about that until I became a grown man. And went to school for what? So they can teach me nothing that I actually need? Financial literacy as it pertains to how to invest in yourself and more or less, the rich dad, poor dad concept. You're going to get that from that book. You're going to get that from actually throwing yourself in, first having some money, some magical how, and then throwing it into some stocks to know how to manage your stocks portfolio and all of this stuff. You're going to learn that off the strength of you being interested in that subject. You ain't gonna learn that in 12 years. I ain't teaching you that. I ain't teaching your kid that. And that's why I'm like, man, this is off. All of this is off. It's off, man. It's uniformed. It's not structured specifically for the individual child. I'm nothing like the kid next to me, but we in the same class, doing the same book, reading the same thing, on the same timing. I got to get up early just like him. I got to do homework at night just like him. It's like, but I'm nothing like him. I'm good at music. He's good at math. Like, I should have my own curriculum. I should have my own thing. But no, we're all in the same class. We're all doing the same thing. No matter what. It's always the same thing. And you get to a point where you understand that that's not okay. Something's wrong about that. Something is very wrong with that. And that's what I'm telling y'all, man. So I'm not saying I have a solution. I'm just saying I see something wrong. And I don't think anybody else does, or most people I've communicated with, they don't see nothing wrong. I see something wrong. And I tell you the truth. When we get, like I said, 300, it may take 100 years, 200 years, when they start studying us and why we allow certain things and how we manage to be so enthralled in cultures that made us sick. When they get to the crux of what actually happened here, I guarantee you, some of the stuff that I sense is wrong, you're going to find the crux of the problem there in some of those spaces. These human training programs that go far unquestioned and just understood. This is what we do. This is how we smart. Okay, got it. And they're gonna study us and say, well, damn, that's how they did it. That's how they got all these people to go along with this crap. A good combination of structured school and consumerism ad culture pushed together just made them what they were, made them indifferent and dystopian in nature, and more so fearful of doing the right thing for the sake of losing the things that they got the wrong way. So that's why they kept on doing things to put themselves in a position to go to prison. They loved wealth, but they could never get it. As soon as they got enough money, they throw it away. They risk their lives to get so much money and then put it around their necks. I get it. They want so bad to be healthy, but then they pour things into their body and make them sick. And then they feel depressed about it as if there's no solution. How did they find themselves so confused? Teach us how to be obese and then tell us obesity is no good for us. We suffer the ills of that, and then they continue to feed us what makes us obese. Why would we be structured in a space where that would even be done? Why would we not reject that? Just like we reject anything else that makes us harm. You got people that are afraid of heights. Afraid of heights, because why? Because they don't want to die. Afraid of water. Why? Because they big bodies of water, because they don't want to drown. But we're not afraid of these greasy sandwiches that they keep putting in our face every 3 minutes. We're watching the game. There's a burger commercial every 3 minutes. Ain't afraid of that, are we? No, can't wait to have it. Need it. What are you talking about? It's going to kill you just as bad as that drowning would. You're going to die of a massive heart attack. Not afraid of that, though, are we? Nope, that's culture. You die anyway. Like, what? Why don't you say that and walk a high-rise uh, like on the edge of a high-rise building then? You're gonna die anyway, right? Why aren't you fearing that? BDL 44. I think y'all for watching.